know what time it is. It's time for the LockMarie talk show with your girl. Yes, give me my love. Give me my love. Give me my love. Give me my love up in here. Love on me, y'all. Love on me. It's your girl, Coach LockMarie. Yeah, take a picture. I'll last a lot longer. I promise. Hey. You have been listening to In Motion by The One. Beats by The One. He got some t-shirts coming out too, y'all. I'll keep you updated. We're going to play that again. I was pretty tight. Get me in my zone real quick before I start this podcast. Because the topic is, one of those. You know how we do on here. I just saw a post by one of the guys I follow on Instagram. Self-love speaker. He's pretty deep. And the topic was what pisses off a good woman after a breakup. So stay tuned. Sorry, y'all. I got a little distracted as usual. Oh. I was just today's April Fool's, so I thought I'd do something funny on my Facebook. I can't wait. I know I'm gonna have over probably every one of my friends gonna check that post. I put up a thing. It said, "I'm getting married this weekend. See comments for details." And when they go to the comments, I got like 9 GIFs that says, "Really? April Fools, I'm very disappointed in you for being in these comments." That's all folks want. They just want mess and gossip. If I said I needed help or something, would nobody go to the comments? But boy, you give them something for them itching ears. They there. Oh my gosh. But anyway. Okay. And then I just text one of my best friends. She's I hadn't heard from her in a while. She fell on my heart, so I thought I'd text her, see how she doing. She traveling with her family right now. Sometimes it's good when people fall on your mind and your heart. Just, send a little text or DM. I'm not really a phone person anymore where I want to sit and talk to you on the phone. Because I just don't have time for no mess. I don't. And I don't want to go in, because sooner or later, unless their energy is higher or more, or equivalent, you know what I'm saying, in a sense of we're on the same, positivity, happy kind of energetic vibe, sooner or later it's going to get to that normal kind of talk, and I'm just not available for that, as my business coach says. I'm just not. That it does not serve any purpose, so I just rather text or send a card or a gift in the mail or something like that, just to let you know I'm thinking about you. That's why I love the internet. I love social media. I really do. Because it gives me that, I don't care what nobody say about it, and maybe it's because that's what I look for when I'm in there. I don't have, people are talking about, it's drama and it's this, and no, you the drama. I don't have that issue on social media, because that's not what I go for when I'm out there. I don't have drama, all that, what I hear and see, never, because I'm not available for that. I never have been, and I never will be, right? So you set the tone for what you get out of every situation. And the more we learn that, and the more we become accountable for who we are and what we do as people and what we put out and which is what we end up getting back from others, then, we'll realize. And sometimes, like I said, until we learn that, a lot of us don't realize it because of the way we were raised and the way we were brought up. But yeah, once you learn how life works and realize and take responsibility for your actions and your life that you're creating, then you get it. But yeah, so let's start with an everyday positive thinking. It says, celebrate every relationship you've ever had. This kind of will go in with what we're going to speak about today. The topic, remember, is what pisses off a good woman after a breakup. And this is a topic that I got from I follow him on Instagram. His name is Self Love Speaker. He does a lot of women inspiring, I guess you could say, or pro women videos. He's a smart man. Him and his other guy, the Mimi King, I think his name is. They're smart. They know how to pull at the heartstrings of women to get the popularity and the likes and the money, and so good looking out. They know what they doing. They some real businessmen. I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start pulling at them men. Okay, it says celebrate every relationship you've ever had, for better or worse. Your relationships are your best teachers. And this is Christian Northrup, MD. Celebrate every relationship you've ever had. And you know, that comes with growth. Because about 5 years ago, I would not have agreed with that at all. But now where I am in my life and my development and my daily growing from the inside out and focusing on myself and my responsibility in my life and how people relate to me, I learn that everything has happened for a reason and was for the bettering of me as a woman. And I'm glad that, I created the world I created to become the woman that I am today. I'm proud of me. Y'all proud of me? Thank you, because I'm proud of me. Even if you wasn't. All right, so let's get into it. So he said in his thing, let me see. I'm going to listen to it. I was going to try to reach him and see if I could play the actual sting one here, but I didn't. I don't want to get in trouble, and folks, so I'm going to relay it to you guys. Hold on. He says, that what pisses her off is that in the end, she realized she was raising another woman's son. Okay? What pisses off a good woman, in the end, she realized she was raising another woman's son. Okay? She thought she was a wife to him. She thought he was a husband to her, but he wasn't a husband. It was just a child in a grown man's body. And that's a lot of men these days. And he said he's not talking mess about men, but there are a lot of men that are just childish up in the mind, the brain. And a good woman will put up with that and tolerate that to a high extent, because she did fall in love with the man, so she's holding herself accountable. But in the end, she'll be pissed off that she ended up raising a man instead of loving a man. So that is what the gist of the post was, okay? I'll take that earpiece out my ear. There. So that's some real stuff, y'all. For real. Like, literally. I have been in relationships, in situations, and was like, this, like, your mama didn't do. And it's to the point where I have gotten to the point where I realize, and I thank God, because he knew my heart as far as my son. And I said, Lord, what I want. This is what I want. I've learned not to say what I don't want, because that's what you end up with. I want my son to grow up and be a independent, secure, confident, gentle, loving, caring, giving, appreciative, grateful, kind-hearted, sound mind, man of integrity, with boldness and good character. Every quality possible for a good man. That's what I want for my son, right? But I also realized I could not do it all. It takes two to have a child. So it takes two to raise a child. And a boy needs a man in his life, specifically his father, when his father is available. But the issue becomes when most women are still bitter and angry about the relationship that didn't work with the father. So now they're holding the child hostage against the father to try and make the father pay, when who only suffers the most, and the most critical suffering is done by the child. When the boy needs his father. Okay, yeah, you got a new husband, you got a new boo, a new bae, whatever, and he wants to become Mr. Superman and take control and be the father. That's fine and dandy. Nothing against that, because I had and have a father to this day, because my mom, which probably was the only reason God allowed her to marry him, married a man who stepped up to the plate. And to this day, from I was age 6 until now, almost 50, this man has been my dad and my father figure in my life. So kudos, shout out to the steps and the added bonus men. Who step up and take that role. But my mom was not one who kept me from my biological father, though. See, that's the difference. You have a lot of women who are trying to act like the victim, but they're really the culprit in the situation, because they know deep within that father is capable of being a father and a dad. He might not have been capable of being your partner, your life partner, or your husband or your man for long, but he can become a father. He can do the job of a father. You just in the way, throwing salt and shade between him and the child, because you want to be the number one or the top parent. I'm like this. My son knows who I am. He knows what type of mama I am. I did the nurturing, the pampering years, right? Age accountability comes. They start growing and developing as boys. That testosterone, that maleness start. I don't want to raise or bring up. I want to bring up a strong male figure so a woman can have a good man in her life. We don't need any more hand-picked mama boys. It's enough for them. So we have to give these fathers the opportunity to prove themselves, unless they have proven you other, and 90% of them have not, because you have not given them the opportunity to do so. That's why the court get involved. And it goes both ways, because you have a lot of fathers who take the children or try to, think, or in their minds say that the mom is not this and the mom is not that, or whatever, or try to use the child as a point. It goes both ways. But the majority, because most of the time, the the child is with the mom, or a situation happens where, the man leaves or whatever. So it ends up where it seems as if the father left the child, kind of thing, when that is not the case. He left that woman. He left that toxic relationship, and the child just happened to be a part of it. And instead of him pulling the child, or he understands that the child needs the mom at a certain level or whatever, so they don't want no issue. Most men don't like to argue. They don't like confrontation. They really don't. They don't want to argue. They don't want to fuss. They don't want to fight, and they don't want to hear your mouth. That's just it. And some women use that to their advantage, and it really disadvantages the child a lot of times. And so this was really, really deep when I heard it, because I'm like, man, that's some real life stuff right there. because I have a lot of female friends, of course, and we talk and we have talked, and it's said a lot, that it's like it's like they got a grown child, and if you look back at those men, the reality of their childhood was the fact that their moms were really not moms in their lives, or their moms were on drugs, or they were raised by their grandparent instead of their mom, or they were raised by an auntie or something like that. Something was a little dysfunctional or off in the dynamics of the adult, of this adult's childhood. That's where it stems from, the beginning. But we always want to take it to where if a man is a certain way in one relationship, oh, it must have been the relationship before me, or it must have been, the women he dated before. It ain't got nothing to do with the women he dated. It don't have anything to do with the women or the girls. It goes back, way back in time, as they say, to something that no one has taken responsibility for. That child that was not nurtured as a child. And now you got a child mentality in a grown body trying to make it in a world where people are expecting him to provide, protect, nurture, do all the things of a man, but he's still longing deep within to be cuddled, hugged, and encouraged and cared for as a child. But he can't say this because, his age is one thing, or he can't say this because of the responsibility he has, or he can't say this because he's 6'3", 340 pounds, of a man. So he can't say what his heart is really longing for. And that's a lot of men we deal with, a lot. And that's just the reality that, we live in. And so, women, I want to let you off it is not your responsibility to raise no grown man. It's not. You married him, or you're dating him as a spouse. Not you. It is not your job to nurture no man, point blank. Take it from someone who has been there, done that, and found out the hard way. You will be the one disappointed, because that is not your job. And it's going he kind of correct in a sense when most women do get pissed off. I don't, in a sense, anymore, because I've learned, and I understand my role as a woman. I understand my role as a human being. And I understand that no matter what happens, if I put something out, I'm going to get it back. So all of the good that I have put out, no matter if it was or wasn't reciprocated from a certain person, it's going to come back to me eventually, regardless. So you don't do good and not get good back. So, that I can't, I take the face off of it, and I just say, oh, you know what? I bless that person. They were blessed because of me. They will never, ever in their life forget me. That I know. No one else will ever measure me, because I am me. I am a genuine, authentic, unique version. There is no one else in this world like me, so that they will always reflect back to me, no matter how good who they are with, because that's how we all are supposed to be confident within ourselves. No one can take your place. That's what you have to believe. If you don't believe in yourself, who gonna believe in you? So you have to know what you are capable of and who you are. And so, you can't hold it against people, because like I said, we all have choices, and the women who are pissed off, you had a choice. You chose to do that. Even though, you took it as you were loving him, and then you see that it was a lopsided kind of love, because 90% of it is because he doesn't know how to love, because he has never been loved. And people have different variations or different perceptions of what love is. You meet one man and he thinks love is sex, and that's all he thinks love is, because that's all people have ever done to him or for him to quote unquote show their love. So if you don't give him sex, then he says you don't love him. You have some men who think love is gifts, because he was taught that you give gifts to show your love, and so all they do is buy gifts. Or love is dinner, or love is compliments. Like, everybody has a different perception of what love is. That's why you have these books and things about the love languages, and you need to find out when you get with someone, what is your love language. If your man don't know, you need to tell him. If he's doing something that's you don't care too much for, like if you don't need quality time, you like gifts, then tell him, you know what, we don't have to spend 3 hours together. We really don't. Just buy me the most expensive. Just be honest with him. If that's who you are, that's who you are. If other people think it's shallow, that's on them. That ain't got nothing to do with you. You trying to make your home happy. What you like is what you like. If you don't like flowers, you like candy, or you like jewelry, it's neither here nor there. There's no right or wrong to it. It's a perception. It's a desire. It's what you want as a woman, or what a man wants. Some men don't want nothing but for you to cook their dinner. They could care less about anything else. Some men don't care about nothing but you ironing their shirts, or just giving them. Some men just want sex. You ain't gotta cook, clean, you ain't gotta do nothing else. They'll hire somebody for everything else. They just want your body. I mean, hey, you got to know who you with. And if more people would focus on their specific relationship and leave alone comparing themselves to the Joneses or the Instagram them couples on Instagram. Stop comparing yourself to them and just be who you are with the man you're with, what works for y'all. Then you have a lot more peace and harmony in your relationship. But the problem is when you're looking out and allowing other people to determine what your man should be doing for you, or what your woman should be doing for you. Oh, she don't. If I was her, I would be. You wouldn't have to worry about that if you was with me. You're right. He'd be worried about something else with you. Everybody got something that they got to deal with when they dealing with somebody else. So, yeah. But that's one thing I do want to say. Ladies, do not feel the pressure. If that's not a part of who you are or who you want to be, don't do it or stop it. You started it, so you can stop it. And just because you started it, don't mean you got to finish it. Because I heard another a post earlier before I saw that one. It was a guy saying, men, you start off right in a relationship, or you start off giving her gifts and wooing her and dining her and wining her and complimenting her and making her feel special and loved, and giving her half like if her hair costs $150, you giving her 75 of it. Or you paying the whole thing. If her nails cost $60, you breaking her off 30, or paying for the whole thing. And then when you get with her, a year, 2, 3 years later, you just go cold turkey, the opposite. Like you just flip on, you know what I'm saying? And then what I'm learning is these new age folks trying to talk about, well, I'm matching you. You ain't matching me. You doing what you want to do. And so I'm going to match you then. I'm going to do what I want to do. Since we matching each other. But, if it took something to get a person's attention, then you might want to continue that, because, some folks they don't speak much, but they'll show you with their action. Oh, okay. So you being distant? Oh, so that's how we are now? Okay, then we're gonna be distant. Because everybody is this is a whole new era. This is not the we gonna ride it out to the wheels fall off kind of thing. This is a and this this stuff be cracking me up. If they say, if I don't hear from you, if you don't text me one day, if you don't call me for one day, then that's gonna let me know that you done moved on and I'm moving on too. I'm like, after one day? My God. What if the phone lines was down, or what if they couldn't call, like they got busy. They thought about you, I'm sure, throughout the day. They just didn't reach out. It's okay. Don't, good Lord, y'all is some ruthless folks. I'm like, man. But, we train each other how to respond and how to act. But you have to realize whatever makes you happy, that's what you have to focus on, and that's what you have to ask for. And if a person is not able to give you that, then there's 100 million other people in the world who can and will. But just also know that you're going to have to use the energy. It's kind of like you have to pick your battles in life, because everybody's not going to be 100% for you at all times. So what is most important for you in a relationship? Is it to have him call you, text you, page you, FaceTime you every single day? Or is it to make sure all your bills is paid? You know what I'm saying? You got to figure out, what do you need as a woman? Is it to buy you gifts on every occasion or every other day? Or is it to compliment you? What is it? Is it loyalty? What is most important for you? My grandmother, she was a good example of this. My grandfather was not good at all with remembering stuff like birthdays and occasions. So we would, as we grew up, we would remind him, say, Grandpa, remember Gigi's birthday's coming up, or remember, did you buy Gigi something for us? I was like, oh, I forgot, because his mind just wasn't there. It wasn't that he didn't love her or he didn't care. He just was not that type of man. He was from another mindset, another era, right? And so we would help, and remind. And then, when he would think about it, he would either give us the money to go buy her a gift, or he would go out and get her something, which 9 times out of 10, it was not what you would think a man would get. So he would just give her money. And, she wasn't tripping, But because she knew he was a loyal man, she knew every night where that man was, right? Like me, I'm married twice. I've never, ever had to wonder where my husband was in either of my marriages. Never have I had to wonder where they were overnight. Because every night they were either next to me in the bed or on the couch. Depending on the mood. But I knew where they were. And some women have gone weeks, months, years, not knowing where their husband or their man went. He just walked out, didn't say where he was going, none of that, right? Or if it was a situation where I had to leave, or we needed a cooling off period, because I've done it throughout the duration of my marriages. I'll get a hotel room in a minute. Pack up for a week, 3 days. Be like, look, unless you want me to make this permanent, I need this temporary time so that I don't shake the spot. I need to detox myself for a moment, and we'll talk later. And I took that time to gather my thoughts and to figure out, okay, is this the end, or is this just a pit stop in between? And, I will say for the record, because yes, I have left 2 marriages. No, I do not get married to leave a marriage. That I am not a runaway bride. It is a shift in the energy of the marriage. It is a shift in the person. If we are not growing together and we are growing apart, I have countless times came to you, because I am a very verbal, outspoken woman, as you can see from my podcast. I have no problems telling you how I'm feeling and what I'm feeling. You know, believe me, they know there is no shock to it. You may think there's a shock. They may got you tricked or fooled on the outside. But they know. They have been well prepared and warned emotionally, mentally, all of that. I have made it clear and very clear, which is what most men do when they leave or before they leave a relationship. Women, they act like, he just left. No, that's not true. You just were in denial of what he was saying because he had been there for so long. So you just automatically thought, oh, he just talking. Oh, she just blowing air, blowing steam. Okay. You played with that dog. You throw that steak in front of that dog long enough and tease that dog enough until they bite you, then you gonna realize, oh, he do got teeth, right? Kind of thing. You have been warned. You have been warned. You have been warned. You have been told. You have been told time and time again. You've had conversations. You've had quote unquote counseling sessions. All of that. It was not a surprise. It may have been a surprise the day it was done. You didn't expect it that day, but you saw it coming. If you didn't see it coming, you saw it coming. But the problem is that, nobody wants to take responsibility for their part in anything. And so, it becomes what it is. But yeah, if in relationships, everybody has to understand that each relationship is different. Each person is different. And if you feel there is a problem, you need to address that with the person that you're dealing with. And not your mama, your aunties, your pastor, your first lady. You need to talk to the person that you're with. Because no one else knows the mind of the person you're with but that person that you're with. And you're going to be very upset at yourself. Even though you will direct it at the person that you're with when things don't go the way you thought it should go, or the way your pastor or your first lady or your best friend or your counselor told you it was going to go. When it could have been avoided had you took responsibility for your actions within the relationship. And that's something that, and I have to say it, men in general don't want to do because, of this whole perception of the man being the head and the man's word being the last thing. And okay, but like I said, that is when it is specifically being ran the way God set it up to run. You cannot be the head and be leading a woman into a box, or can't lead her out of a paper bag, for lack of better words. Every decision she's ever seen you make has never went to anything, but she's a stupid woman to allow you to lead her into a ditch. No smart woman's gonna ever do that. She's gonna take up the slack and handle it. And if you're a smart man, if you don't have the ability to do it, then you're gonna let her be a helpmate and help you. You know what I'm saying? But the problem comes in when the helpmate becomes you can only help someone who's doing something. You can't help someone who's not doing anything. If there's nothing to help, you become the provider. Like you become, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times the tables were backwards to begin with. So unless the man takes responsibility or thinks it's his responsibility to take the responsibility, because a lot of men don't. They're into this new age. It's not like Papa them no more, or Grandpa them. I see the post where it says the man mad because a woman ain't cooking and cleaning like Grandma, but you ain't paying the bills like Papa used to do neither, bruh. Grandma and them didn't pay no bills. Papa did it all. So what you doing? You can't expect her to be ain't your mama and you not, what was them shows that used to come on? All the woman would stay home, the Cleavers and Leave It to Beaver and all of that. The women would stay home and do all the pampering around the house because the man went out and worked and brought home the money and brought home what the family needed. Things have definitely changed. The perception of life has just changed. And so unless you create that world that you desire, you're just gonna be like a leaf tossed to and fro, trying to figure stuff out. And you have to really know what you desire or what you deserve or what you want in a relationship in order not to be that pissed off woman or that pissed off man out to get everybody who comes after your mama, really, because that's where it starts, after your daddy. Because our foundation is our parents. Our foundation is our childhood. That is the first relationship you have with the opposite sex or with a same sex. A daughter first encounter with another female is her mama. A daughter's first encounter with a guy is her dad. If she didn't know who her father was, then, that sets a tone. If a mama and a daughter didn't get along, that sets it. Like, there's different things that happens, but it starts with our foundation as human beings. But we never address that, and we grow up with all of this confusion and clutter and chaos because you can't talk to adults. Kids got to be seen and not heard, or you got to respect adults, and you can't express yourself. So you hold all this in, and it's so much confusion. So hopefully, we can finally get it one day as a people. I see the new generation, they're becoming more vocal and, more in tune with what they really want. And, of course, the older people call it rebellion, but I'm like this. I think it'll be a lot better as they grow up, because there'll be people who know what they want and they won't settle like we did. They won't work a dead-end job, quote unquote, for 50, 60 years. They're going to go after their passion, get it, and make it happen. And they're doing that as young people now. And I look forward to seeing them as adults, thriving and prosperous in what they, were born to do. And instead of adults getting jealous because they didn't have the balls or the gall to do it, back them up and support them and encourage them. Let them know that you're proud of them, because they doing something. They're using the creativity that God blessed them with. They're making wealth. They're not looking for people to give to them. They are creating it. And that is awesome. Awesome. So we have been listening to Beats by the One, Back on Deck by X Rusan Iso Indies, Waterfalls by Iso Indie and King Sis, Sweet Talk by Tara Chanty, Little Sunday Barbecue, Jesse Lawrence, Bedroom by Loving Caliber, Self-Made Woman by Catherine Appleton, Stay in the Moment by Tyra Chanty, and my all-time favorite, My Name, Scream My Name by Tonti. All right, y'all. This is my day of rest. It's nice outside. I don't think it's too cold. I think I'm going to go out and get some of that good old vitamin D. I may go I don't want to go to the gym. I'm going to just go out to and walk. Let the elements touch my skin. All right. So don't be pissed off. Don't be angry. Express yourself. Love people, but do not take responsibility for other grown folks. If you're going to help them and let them be. Realizing that it's a choice for you to do what you do. And if they don't return a favor, you can't get mad. And then if you want them to return a favor, then tell them. Say, I want you to pay me back for what I did for you. Be upfront. All right. I will talk to y'all soon. This has been your girl, Coach LockMarie. And I will see you on the next episode.